Now, a food labelling campaign is hoping to be the first to offer consumers a way of identifying foods which are low in added sugar. Scientists have developed a test which distinguishes between the total amount of sugar in foods and the added sugar content. Sky's Charlotte Lomas reports.
Whether it's free, refined or natural, sugar has become the big issue of our time. Nutritional experts now recommend that free sugars make up just 5% of our daily calorie intake. But mother of one Rend Plattings found doing so wasn't that easy. So she's designed a certification label to identify products that pass the low sugar test.
When I looked at toddler food and baby food, things that are marketed for weaning, really, I was shocked to see the amount of sugars in them. Typical rusks, for example, they have, they say that they have 20% of the iron that your baby needs, but they've got 29 grams of added sugar in 100 grams of rusk.
This box of Fruit Heroes is the first food to make the grade and obtain the SugarWise label. Other brands are now hoping to follow suit. But before they can, they must be put through strict testing, which allows scientists to tell the difference between a product's total sugar and its free sugar content for the first time.
Free sugars are sugars that are added to food, as well as the sugars that are found in fruit juices, honeys and syrups. And because free sugars don't fill you up like other sugars normally do, you're more likely to overeat if you have a high free sugar diet. And also because free sugars produce a spike in insulin, you're more likely to convert those sugars into fatty deposits in your body.
Health campaigners hope that clearer food labelling will help fight against the growing problem of obesity and sugar-related illnesses such as diabetes and tooth decay. But some experts have reservations about how well the SugarWise scheme will work.
This target us to consume 5% or less of our energy intake from sugars is about our overall daily intake. It's not that every food needs to contain less than 5% sugar, and most of us are perfectly able to have some treats within our diet that are higher than 5% added sugars or free sugars.
While a treat once in a while might be fine, campaigners want to cut the confusion for some consumers and make it easy to see which foods truly do have no sugar. Charlotte Lomas, Sky News.
Well, let's talk to Jennifer Rosborough now, who's a nutritionist and campaign manager at Action on Sugar. She joins me now in the studio. As you can see, very good morning to you. What do you make of this campaign?
So I've really just learnt about it because they're just launching today, and we definitely need some more differentiation between total sugars and free sugars for consumers to be able to understand what is really in their product and how nutritious it is. So I think that that's really good. I think that one thing that maybe we need to be careful of is if it's certain products are stamped with the SugarWise logo, then it's only the ones, the companies that have opted in, so it doesn't give a true story. Plus the fact that we don't want people to pick it up just because it's got that on it and not look at the saturated fat content or the salt content.
It's so confusing, isn't it? Because the whole sugar issue isn't just about if it's found naturally, for example, in honey, then that's okay. Well,
actually, honey is considered a free sugar. So, it's really difficult to keep the message simple for consumers. But the sugar in fruit or dried fruit or vegetables or milk products are all okay. We don't need to worry about those because the other nutrients that they contain as well. But sugars are added to food, so even in the form of syrup, so whether it's honey or those found in drinks, actually we need to be careful of. So drinks apart from milk. So that includes fruit juice as well. So the sugars in fruit juice are considered to be free sugars, and that's why we have a recommendation to actually limit the amount that we have to 150 ml per day, which is a small amount. It's less than a cup.
There is so much food labelling now. There is so, there's traffic lights, there's this sugar label. And as you said, you can have a sugar label, but not everyone can join, can commit to it, so you don't know whether that's okay. You can have the traffic light system, it's saturated fats, etc., etc. What actually needs to happen here to make it simple so that we can go into a shop, we can look at something and say, okay, this is good for me or this isn't?
Yeah, well, it definitely would be helpful for us to be able to differentiate between the total and free sugars, because we can't currently. So you could get a can of fizzy drink, for example, and it could say that it only contributes to a certain percentage of your total sugars, whereas in actual fact it's far beyond the maximum free sugars that we should intake for the day. But really what it's about, it's really difficult because only health conscious will really even look at the labels or pay attention to them. So we need wider strategies to reduce sugar. Part of that will be David Cameron is well, we're waiting for him to release the delayed child obesity strategy. And in that, we need things like manufacturers committing to reducing the amount of sugars in their foods. The sugar tax has obviously been talked about a lot, but that reformulation where sugar is reduced in foods and drinks is the key, because then that's going to help the whole population reduce their sugar, not just the people that are looking and trying to interpret that complicated information.
I was recently invited to go on a free sugar cookery workshop, in particular to teach me how to make healthy treats for my kids without sugar in. And I said to my friend, you know, I'd love to do it in theory. But I'm not going to get up in 6 in the morning and find all these ingredients that don't have sugar in to make something that my kids will eat. I'd love to do it. I'd love for them not to eat sugar, but it's almost impossible.
Yeah, and I think that what can be really, really confusing is there's lots of health bloggers out there and people who are raising lots of awareness but aren't necessarily qualified in nutrition and dietetics, and so they don't fully understand it, and so they're replacing sugar with syrups.
And actually, a bit of sugar isn't that bad for you, is it? Everybody can have a bit of sugar in their diet.
Of course, that we can all have a bit of sugar in our diet. It's more about the amount that we're having. So currently, we're having 2 to 3 times more than is recommended for us. So it's important that it's reduced, but not at the risk of not paying attention to saturated fats and salts and looking at the whole diet.
Oh, gosh. Jennifer Rossborough, a lot to think about. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was invited on a free sugar course.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it was free. That's not what you meant at all, is it?